Have you ever found yourself burdened by expectations, opinions, or advice that you didn't ask for? Maybe it came from someone close to you, or maybe it was a well-meaning comment, but it still haunts you, uninvited and unwanted. I remember a time when a simple comment from a friend made me rethink my entire career path. It stuck in my mind, not because it was true, but because I allowed it to. This is something we all go through, but the Stoics offer us a powerful solution. So join me in exploring today's video. Before you get started, be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the alarm so you don't miss out on the next video add-ons. That gives us more motivation to continue sharing interesting knowledge with you. 1. The trap of unsolicited opinions. Have you ever found yourself receiving advice you didn't ask for, only to have it linger in your thoughts, making you doubt your own decisions? Unsolicited opinions are like uninvited guests. They arrive unexpectedly, disrupt your peace, and often leave behind a trail of confusion. This is a trap we all fall into at some point, where the opinions of others begin to shape our actions, even when we never sought their input. The key question here is, how often do these opinions truly benefit us? And how often do they subtly undermine our confidence? Marcus Aurelius, one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, warned against letting others' judgments take control of our lives. He believed that our ability to filter through these external voices is crucial to maintaining peace of mind. Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed." His message is clear. We must be open to opinions, but only if they align with our values and our search for truth. Consider a scenario where you're pursuing a career path you're passionate about, but a family member tells you that your choice is impractical or that you're wasting your potential. It's easy to feel shaken by such comments, especially when they come from people you care about. However, as a Stoic, you are encouraged to pause and reflect. Acknowledge their opinion, but don't let it take root unless it truly aligns with your own values and vision. Marcus Aurelius's approach is particularly useful here. Accept opinions that are rooted in truth and reject those that aren't. By filtering advice through this Stoic lens, you safeguard your sense of purpose and stay true to your path. This strategy of selective acceptance can be a game changer. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the constant flood of external voices, you begin to focus on what truly matters, your own inner wisdom. The Stoics often compared life to a ship navigating through stormy seas. The opinions of others are the winds that can either propel you forward or knock you off course. With the right mindset, you can use only the winds that push you toward your destination, while ignoring those that seek to lead you astray. How many times have you adjusted your actions because someone else suggested you were on the wrong path? Reflect on this. Are you living your life according to your own values? Or are you allowing unsolicited advice to steer you off course? This is a common challenge in modern life, but Stoicism offers a powerful framework to overcome it. By recognizing that others' opinions are simply external events, much like the weather, we can learn to treat them with detached awareness. Applying this strategy will bring an immediate sense of freedom. You'll no longer feel burdened by the expectations or judgments of others. Instead, you'll experience a newfound confidence in your decisions, grounded in your own principles. The Stoic approach empowers you to reclaim control over your life, ensuring that your actions reflect your true self, not the opinions of others. Have you ever tried this approach? Share your experience the next time you face unsolicited advice, and observe how much lighter and more focused you feel. 2. The dangerous gift of others' expectations. When we step back and reflect on the motivations behind our choices, we often realize that many of them are not truly ours. We're subtly influenced by the expectations of others, and over time, these can shape our lives in ways we may not have originally intended. Have you ever found yourself following a path that doesn't feel like your own? Expectations from loved ones, society, or cultural norms can shape our decisions without us even realizing it. Stoic philosopher Epictetus offers a powerful reminder. What truly matters is understanding what is within our control. We might not be able to stop others from having expectations of us, but we can choose how to respond. The pressure to meet external expectations is not a new phenomenon, but it has become even more pervasive in today's connected world. Everywhere we look, on social media, in our careers, or even within our own families, people are dictating what success or happiness should look like. In today's world, the weight of these pressures can feel overwhelming. Yet, despite all this, the Stoics remind us that fulfillment comes not from meeting others' standards, but from aligning our actions with our own values. Epictetus teaches that while external factors may not be in our control, how we respond to them is entirely our choice. Consider this. When was the last time you made a decision purely for yourself, without the influence of others' expectations? For example, think of the person who follows a career path because it's expected, only to feel disillusioned after years of working in a field they never truly loved. Imagine how different that person's life might be if they had chosen a path aligned with their own passions, not someone else's. Stoic philosophy encourages us to critically examine these moments, to step back and ask whether the choices we make reflect our own goals or the desires of others. Take the example of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who ruled over Rome with immense responsibility. Despite the overwhelming demands of his position, he frequently reminded himself to focus on what was within his control, his thoughts, decisions, and actions. He wrote in his meditations about the importance of remaining true to one's values, even when society expects otherwise. By adhering to his inner principles, he found peace amid external pressures. When you start filtering out expectations that don't serve your true self, you begin to create a life that is authentically yours. Have you ever paused to consider the expectations that drive your actions? By doing so, you will experience the freedom to pursue what truly matters to you. Epictetus wisely reminds us that while we cannot control the expectations others place upon us, we have the power to decide which ones we allow into our lives. 3. The hidden burden of favors with second intentions. Small actions can sometimes have big consequences. A favor that seems innocent may end up creating unwanted obligations. Have you ever realized that a favor, which initially appeared to be an act of kindness, carried hidden expectations and burdens? This is a problem that Stoic philosophers like Seneca warned us about, emphasizing that true generosity should not come with the expectation of something in return. Once hidden intentions are attached, the favor loses its sincerity. In the intricate relationships of modern life, we can easily find ourselves entangled in favors that carry ulterior motives. A co-worker might help you finish a project, but later expect the same support when it suits them, even if it conflicts with your time and priorities. In such scenarios, not only do you lose the freedom to make your own decisions, but you also carry the weight of unspoken expectations. For the Stoics, clarity of intention was essential to maintaining peace of mind. Living by Stoic principles requires us to develop a favor detector to identify these hidden motives. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that internal freedom is the foundation of a virtuous life, and accepting favors with unclear intentions can bind us in ways that rob us of this freedom. To live virtuously and freely, we must be discerning. Instead of quickly accepting a favor, we should pause and ask ourselves, is this act truly from kindness, or is there something more behind it? Take time to assess its nature. If the motives behind the favor make you uncomfortable, a polite refusal not only preserves your inner peace, but also strengthens your resolve to uphold your values. By applying these principles, we protect ourselves from the burdens of unwanted favors and preserve our mental clarity. Living this way helps us foster genuine and lasting relationships, free from the pressures of hidden obligations. More importantly, it allows us to experience the inner freedom that Stoicism always held in such high regard. 4. Constant negativity. Every day we're exposed to countless emotions and energies from the people around us. Have you ever realized how just one negative person can shift your entire mood? What if you could learn to protect your mind from that negativity? Like a toxin to our mental well-being, negativity, if left unchecked, can pull us away from happiness and inner peace. But Stoicism offers a powerful way to rise above it, helping you shield your mental space from being contaminated by external negativity. In our modern world, negativity is everywhere. Whether it's the pessimistic co-worker, the critical friend, or the never-ending flow of bad news on social media, we're constantly surrounded by negative energy. This ongoing exposure can have profound effects on mental health, leading to anxiety, frustration, and a sense of being overwhelmed. Studies show that negativity doesn't just affect your mood, it can actually rewire your brain, making it harder to maintain a positive mindset. Yet, Stoic philosophy reminds us that while we can't control the negativity others bring into our lives, we can control how we react to it. This is a key principle in protecting our inner peace. A great example comes from Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most well-known philosophers and a Roman emperor. In his meditations, he reflects on how to handle difficult people. When you arise in the morning, tell yourself, "The people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. They are like this because they cannot distinguish between good and evil." Rather than feeling anger or frustration, Marcus accepted that encountering negativity is inevitable and chose not to let it disrupt his inner peace. He recognized that allowing others' negativity to affect him would only harm his own well-being. Now, think about your own life. Who are the negative influences that constantly drag you down? How do you feel after interacting with them? What if you could break free from their influence and choose positivity instead? By consciously refusing to absorb their negative energy, you regain control over your emotions and stay clear-headed. Building emotional resilience is key, and it starts by distancing yourself from negative sources. Instead of engaging with or taking on others' negative emotions, observe them from a place of detachment. Remind yourself that their negativity reflects their internal struggles, not your value or reality. Surround yourself with more positive, uplifting influences, whether it's through reading inspirational books, engaging in joyful activities, or spending time with people who encourage your growth. Take a moment to reflect. Who in your life is a source of negativity, and how can you distance yourself from them? What steps will you take today to protect your peace of mind? 5. The need for constant approval. Imagine standing on the edge of uncertainty, waiting for someone to affirm your worth. How many times have we found ourselves in this position, needing others to validate our existence in order to feel secure? The desire for approval from others is a common human trait, but it often leads us down an unstable path. In a society that constantly seeks recognition, learning to validate ourselves from within becomes essential. The ancient philosopher Epictetus offered timeless advice on this matter. Rather than desiring the approval of others, we should learn to embrace things as they are. This acceptance is where true self-confidence is born. In our hyper-connected age, where every opinion can be broadcasted, people frequently find themselves caught in a web of external validation. Rather than letting external opinions dictate your self-esteem, Stoicism teaches us to find value in our efforts and our internal sense of virtue. Think of a skilled artist who dedicates hours to perfecting their craft. According to Stoicism, this artist should not derive satisfaction from the praise they receive, but from the effort they've put into their work. By aligning their focus with their own internal standards, they free themselves from the emotional roller coaster of public opinion. In this way, we learn that lasting self-worth isn't built on others' fleeting judgments, but on the values and efforts we hold dear. Breaking free from the need for constant approval requires a shift in mindset. Instead of searching for validation from others, start by acknowledging your own accomplishments and strengths, even in the absence of recognition. Take pride in the effort you've invested, much like the craftsman who finds joy in his work, not in the praise he may or may not receive. Focus on what you can control, your own actions and judgments, and let go of what others might think. By embracing this philosophy, you'll discover a newfound sense of stability and inner peace. Your confidence will no longer be swayed by the opinions of others, and you will find yourself grounded in the knowledge of who you truly are. The freedom that Stoicism offers is not just a theoretical concept. It is a practical tool for navigating the ups and downs of life without being controlled by external forces. So today, make the decision to let go of the need for approval. Begin by valuing the integrity and effort you bring to every aspect of your life, independent of others' recognition. This commitment to internal validation is your first step toward a life of freedom, free from the instability of external validation and filled with the quiet strength of self-assurance. 6. Comparisons to others. Have you ever found yourself measuring your success by comparing it to others? It's a habit that many of us unknowingly fall into, but how often do we let the achievements or failures of others dictate our own sense of worth? In Stoicism, comparisons are seen as one of the most toxic influences on our peace of mind. When we allow external factors, like the lives of others, to become the benchmark for our own happiness, we surrender our power to control how we feel about ourselves. In today's modern society, this has become more prevalent than ever. Social media platforms have created a perfect breeding ground for comparisons. With every scroll, we are inundated with the highlights of others' lives, their successes, their travels, their perfect moments. It's easy to feel as though we're falling behind, but Stoicism teaches us that comparing ourselves to others is not only unnecessary, but harmful. Just look at how athletes like Serena Williams or Michael Phelps have dealt with public scrutiny. These world-class competitors constantly face comparisons to their rivals, but their success comes from focusing inward, on their own discipline, hard work and progress, not on how they measure up to others. Rather than fixating on what others have achieved, Stoicism encourages us to reflect on our own journey. Have you improved from yesterday? That's the only comparison that matters. The sense of discontent that comes from constantly measuring yourself against others can be paralyzing. I once struggled with this myself, wondering why I wasn't achieving the same level of success as some of my peers. But through the lens of Stoicism, I've learned that true fulfillment comes from recognizing my own progress, not in chasing after external approval. Take someone like J.K. Rowling, for example. She faced countless rejections before Harry Potter became a global sensation. If she had focused on how other authors were succeeding faster, she might have given up. but her dedication to her craft and belief in her story allowed her to thrive on her own terms. Now, imagine for a moment how freeing it would be to stop comparing your path to others. What if you could let go of the pressure to keep up and instead focus on the progress you're making? How much lighter would you feel knowing that your success is defined by your growth, not by someone else's achievements? It's a powerful mindset shift, and one that Stoicism advocates strongly. Starting today, make a commitment to yourself. When you catch those comparison thoughts creeping in, pause and refocus. Instead of looking outward, look inward. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Write down 3 things you've accomplished today and remind yourself that your journey is unique to you. This small act of mindfulness can have a profound impact, helping you to break the cycle of comparison and live more authentically. By doing this, you will immediately experience a sense of freedom. You'll no longer be burdened by the weight of other people's lives, but instead feel empowered to walk your own path with confidence. This freedom is one of the greatest gifts of Stoicism. It allows us to embrace our individuality and trust in our own process. Remember, even successful people like Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey have had to navigate their own unique struggles, and their success is rooted in staying true to their vision, not in measuring themselves against others. 7. Unsolicited advice. Have you ever received advice you didn't ask for, only to feel confused or overwhelmed afterward? How did it make you feel? Unsolicited advice can often come from well-meaning friends, family, or even colleagues. However, as Stoicism teaches us, not all advice is beneficial or worth absorbing. It's crucial to distinguish between guidance that empowers and advice that distracts us from our true purpose. In today's hyper-connected world, where everyone has an opinion, we are constantly bombarded with advice. While it's natural to seek advice when we feel lost, unsolicited advice can cloud our judgment and prevent us from following our inner compass. We must be selective about the words we allow to shape our thoughts and actions, as they can lead us down paths that were never ours to begin with. Take, for example, famous figures like Elon Musk. Musk is often known for following his own vision, regardless of what critics or unsolicited advisors suggest. Throughout his journey with Tesla and SpaceX, countless experts doubted his unconventional methods, often offering advice that he didn't ask for. Yet, by trusting his inner vision and filtering out the noise, he was able to stay true to his goals and achieve monumental success. This resilience aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of controlling how we respond to external opinions and staying grounded in our personal mission. How many times have you felt swayed by someone else's words, only to later realize that their advice wasn't aligned with your true desires? Imagine the freedom you could experience if you trusted yourself more, much like the Stoics advocated. Instead of letting unsolicited advice derail you, take a moment to assess whether the advice aligns with your values. If it doesn't, thank the person and move forward with your own decisions. This act of discernment is a powerful Stoic practice that helps maintain clarity and self-control. By filtering out unsolicited advice, you not only protect your mental space, but also empower yourself to stay true to your purpose. The immediate benefit is a greater sense of control over your life, and with it, a deep feeling of freedom. What's one piece of advice you've recently received that didn't sit well with you? Share your thoughts in the comments and commit to trusting your inner voice from now on. This small shift in mindset can lead to profound changes in how you approach your goals and live your life. 8. The mirage of quick fixes. In a world where every second counts and the pressure to achieve is constant, we often find ourselves looking for shortcuts to ease the way. Yet, in these moments of searching for relief, we must ask ourselves, Are these quick fixes truly helping, or are they just distractions from real, sustainable growth? The appeal of fast solutions has never been more prevalent. With endless promises of instant success or happiness, it's tempting to believe there's a shortcut to every destination. However, Stoicism teaches us that true success is not born out of shortcuts, but through steady effort and the ability to endure challenges. Seneca wisely stated, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." Quick fixes offer temporary relief, but they fail to deliver the depth of fulfillment that comes with perseverance and hard work. When considering the path to greatness, many iconic figures have faced long, grueling journeys. Elon Musk, despite numerous failures in both Tesla and SpaceX, continued pushing forward, redefining industries through relentless effort. Serena Williams spent years honing her craft, battling injuries and personal setbacks to become a legendary athlete. Their stories remind us that true success comes from patience and dedication, not from taking shortcuts. In a culture that constantly pushes for rapid results, it's vital to remember that real achievements are the product of time and effort, not instant solutions. Instead of asking what can be achieved quickly, it's worth reflecting on how many times a shortcut has led to disappointment. Consider the times when you opted for an easier route, only to realize it lacked substance or lasting value. Stoic wisdom invites us to resist the lure of shortcuts and focus instead on the process. The question we must ask ourselves is, what would I accomplish if I stopped seeking quick fixes and embraced the hard work that growth truly requires? This introspection can shift our mindset from frustration over delays to appreciation for the journey itself. To break free from the quick fix mentality, start by focusing on consistent, small actions that contribute to long-term goals. Whether it's improving a skill, strengthening relationships, or advancing in your career, embrace the slow, steady path. By doing so, you will create lasting change rather than fleeting satisfaction. The Stoic approach, rooted in discipline and patience, allows us to free ourselves from the trap of instant gratification and instead focus on sustainable progress. In conclusion, quick fixes offer a temporary illusion of success, but they rarely lead to lasting fulfillment. By choosing persistence over shortcuts and embracing the process of growth, we cultivate inner strength and resilience. How will you shift your mindset from chasing shortcuts to valuing the journey? Share your thoughts and join a community committed to real, meaningful progress. 9. The guilt that does not belong to us. Have you ever felt the weight of guilt for something you knew deep down wasn't your fault? In life, we sometimes take on the emotional burdens of others, absorbing guilt that does not belong to us. Stoicism teaches us to be courageous enough to let go of this unnecessary weight. We are not responsible for everything that happens around us, and accepting guilt that is not ours leads to a loss of mental freedom. Perhaps you've experienced a moment at work when a colleague made a mistake, yet the blame was shifted onto you. Or within a family dynamic, you accepted responsibility for keeping the peace, even if you were not at fault. These experiences do more than just increase stress. They erode your sense of self-worth and confidence. Just as professional athletes like Simone Biles have openly discussed the pressure to meet societal expectations, leading them to feel guilty for putting their mental health first, it's clear that many of us carry guilt that is not our own. This misplaced guilt can hinder personal growth and mental clarity. Are you frequently overwhelmed by the expectations of others? Do you realize that these feelings of guilt are holding you back from living your life freely? Stoicism urges us to release these emotional shackles by questioning whether the guilt we feel truly belongs to us. By regularly asking yourself, Is this truly my responsibility? You begin to distinguish between what is within your control and what is not. The next step is to take action. Refuse to accept blame for things that are not within your sphere of influence. This may be difficult at first, especially if you are used to shouldering the weight of others' emotions. However, this practice will ultimately lead to emotional liberation. Much like leaders such as Michelle Obama, who have faced relentless criticism but have learned to remain focused on what they can control, you too can find freedom in shedding guilt that does not belong to you. In conclusion, by recognizing and releasing guilt that is not ours, we free ourselves to live a more authentic, empowered life. This brings immediate relief, granting us the mental space to focus on what truly matters. Take a step today to protect your emotional well-being and commit to letting go of guilt that has no place in your life. What would your life look like if you only carried what was truly yours? We've covered 9 essential things to avoid for better mental well-being and staying true to yourself. Stoic philosophy shows us that true contentment comes from within. If you enjoyed this video, comment with a 1 and don't forget to share and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom. Thanks for tuning in.